Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Because Valentine's is right around the corner, I thought we'd do a little relationship segment here. Today I've brought my lovely partner James Moore along, and together we will be doing the 5 ways to attract an INFP.
Oh, it's late, but I really want you to stay.
The reason why James is here with me today is that he will tell you his experiences at the start of our relationship with how he was able to attract me as an INFP. Although I'm an INFP, I can't speak for absolutely everyone because we as human beings are unique and have unique experiences. But this is just my experience and our experience, and I just would love to share it with you guys today. Now, you may have noticed a new track that I've used in this video, and that of course is from the lovely James Moore. He is part of an electro-pop duo titled JMCD. So this song is called I Really Need You Now, and if you would love to check it out, I'll put it in the description box below.
I think this track really captures sort of those feelings of when you want someone and you can't have them and they're not there, they're sort of at an arm's reach. As an ENFP, what we're about to talk about, I'm sort of more of an anxious person, so this track really works for that. And shout out to the people who have come over and checked out my channel. It means the world, so thank you.
So without further ado, let's begin.
Yeah.
Sorry darling, I'm just so itchy. If you think about one of the INFP's major values, that is INFPs love to remain true to themselves and they appreciate authenticity. So this leaves the first point, be authentic. INFPs appreciate people who can remain true to themselves no matter what anyone else says, no matter what society says. INFPs realize the potential in absolutely everybody, no matter if they're perceived as good or bad or anything between. INFPs know that everyone has that special part of themselves. The INFP wants to know what motivates that person and what that person is passionate about. The INFP appreciates and admires the confidence within a person to stand up and say, this is who I am and take me as I am. The INFP is really going to admire that quality. Have your own thing and be the most important person in your life. The INFP doesn't really appreciate facades or inflated egos. We kind of see this as something that's kind of like an insecurity in a way, or like the person is trying to put a mask on to cover up something else. We do not care about surface irrelevancies such as how much a person makes, how much money a person makes, or how many friends a person has, how big their social circle is. That's not important to an INFP. INFPs look for the true essence behind a person, inside a person, and that is what matters the most. Your passions and your ambitions and who you are. Expressing these things from a very humble approach is going to really stick out to the INFP, because if you overinflate it, it can be quite pushy to us, or quite, what's another word for that?
Maybe cocky or
sort
of try hard.
Yeah, and the INFP cringe. Yeah, the INFP just really appreciates when a person can be humble about who they are. Yeah, it's a really nice quality. Now the cool thing about James here is that he has always been true to himself, and this was probably the major thing that attracted me to him in the first place. I could just get a real keen sense from him that he was ultimately himself and he wouldn't change for anyone. James, what was it when we first met that you kind of felt like you were showing me your true self?
Me and my studio mates, we were trying to do ambitious things. We were trying to film this TV show, and so we were playing around with, you know, stage makeup. The day I met Lexi, I rocked up, I picked her up, and I still had eyeliner on from the night before. I guess I could have gone home and scrubbed it all off and that, but I thought, well, let's just start it on an honest foot, and I didn't clean my eyeliner off. I don't think she noticed anyway. But it was those little subtle decisions that I made to keep it as true and real as I could. In the past, I think I've probably been a little forced or cringe.
I must say, it's so much easier to be yourself than trying to be someone you're not. That's what I found. My biggest memory when we first met, he just randomly came out and said to me, hey, do you want to see my toys? I'm just like, oh, okay then. And so all these toys that you can see right there on the shelf, he bought out, they were all in a box at the stage, and I was really quite intrigued by it. And James had said, oh, it's so funny because the last girl I showed this to thought I was a freak. And so, I so admired James for showing me his toys despite the last time it being unsuccessful, and I thought it was epic.
I started out with the eyeliner. I might as well
keep it going.
Keep the truth bomb going.
Yeah, and it worked. And that's the thing, it really did.
She actually showed me the Dragon Ball Z tattoo. I was kind of like, well, I've got Dragon Ball Z toys.
Alright, moving on. Following in from the first point where INFPs value honesty, we also value integrity. So for the second point, that is, let us know your intentions. As introverts, we don't have the time or the energy to focus on second guessing what your intentions are. Whether that be you want to have a one-night stand with us, you want to just be friends, or you want to have a long-term relationship, we just want to know because we don't have the capacity within us to wonder what is going on. We've got other things to deal with other than worrying about that. Now, from my experience from knowing other INFPs, we tend to like longer term romantic relationships as opposed to flighty relationships or ones where there's game playing or whether you're offering us a casual relationship. I think this is due to the fact that INFPs don't deal well with our feelings being toyed with. We are people who are quick to feel things, and it's hard when we get really crushed. So we like the idea of being loyal to one person and to build a really big committed relationship with one person. We think that it's a very special thing to have. We just want to be given enough respect for a person to tell us what their intentions are so that we can choose whether we need to walk away or stay if that suits us. We admire a person who is able to tell us their truth in fear of rejection. It shows such confidence, and as INFPs, we would never judge anyone for letting their heart out like that. In fact, we're gonna so admire you for telling us the truth. Feelings are really sacred, and INFPs treat them as such. So you guys know mine and James's first initial meeting. Well, it wasn't until a couple of nights after that, or a night or two after that, where I had messaged him saying, let's go do something, let's drive around Auckland, go up the mountains, what do you say? And James was really interested in doing this, so straight away, he responded straight away. He was actually in, you were wearing a Batman onesie.
Yeah, it was my Batman onesie.
And he was so cozy and comfortable, and so he got out of his comfort zone and came to pick me up.
So we went on this date, just drove around Auckland and that. And that is the hard part, like you said, kind of coming out and being really honest with what exactly this is, because a lot of young people when you're in your 20s, there's a lot of mucking around and a lot of...
Yeah, in this day and age, like dating has changed dramatically since 50 years ago.
I think when you're in like that early phase, I think it's almost a turn off to kind of voice like, oh, I like you, or any kind of sort of deep romantic stuff. So on our date, I remember seeing this couple. It looked like they were on a Tinder date, and I didn't know what me and Lexi were on because I've been friend-zoned a lot. Kind of thought something was happening and it wasn't. So it's really good for me to know what's going on as well. I was almost commentating this Tinder date, like a sport game, commentating it. And I think I was doing it subconsciously, subliminally, to try and say, what are we doing? I wanted to know what that was. I didn't fully know at that point. And yeah, we just got on, had a really fun time. I knew there was a connection and I knew there was a chemistry. Yeah. What did I do? I kissed you?
As he dropped me off back to where I was staying, he stopped the car and he looked at me quite intensely and we hugged each other. And I said, I really enjoyed this. And as I was going to leave, He came in for the kiss. This guy has just fully let me know what his intentions are. He showed me that confidence of, you know what, I don't care, I'm just going to kiss her and she can do what she wants with that. If you really like someone, just come out and say it. Have the confidence to say, I like you. What are you going to do with this information? And
Can you imagine someone actually doing
that? But, you know, if they reject you, that's their loss. And then you can move on to someone who's actually going to like you, you know? Now, one of the main things that INFPs need, period, doesn't matter where you are in the world or who you're associating with, we need space. We are introverts. So this leads me on to the third point, which is we need time and space. INFPs do a lot of self-reflection. We are very analytical people. We spend a lot of time in our heads. And usually when we do this, it needs to be in a very quiet space in solitude. When we have a new person of interest in our life or a new relationship brewing, we need some time and space away to reflect on our feelings and to figure out whether that relationship or that person is right for us. INFPs have a very good understanding of our feelings, but we need to be able to take the time and space away to fully process them and to fully understand them. We want to give you our full authentic self. So that means we need to analyze our feelings, because otherwise we feel we may not be able to truly give you all of ourselves.
What's the first thing everyone does when they start dating is they'll go on dates, and then as soon as you leave the date, you text each other, oh, that was a really nice date, that was awesome. And then it falls into that texting all the time until you see each other again. And I think that sort of idea of space, when you're not seeing each other, and because we can communicate so freely all the time with technology, you've got to text tastefully. You might not have liked it if the moment I left you, I'm sending you text. Yeah,
well, absolutely. And there would be days where he wouldn't message me. But for him, it was because he was unsure, and he was like, actually, you know what, I'm just going to step back a bit and just let this play out. If she texts me, she'll text me. You played that approach, and here I am going, oh my gosh, why hasn't he text me? Oh, I should go and text him.
Again, I've been in that situation where I might have texted too much, and then you come across clingy, and it's all about these little micro decisions you make and just being confident. Like, I'm a paranoid dude. I used to be that guy that would show up to my mate's house, and if I had a girlfriend, I'd turn my phone off and put it in the corner so I didn't accidentally pocket call her and make a fool of myself. And I'd see it with friends of mine, and you'd know the one that had a girl on the go because he's all the time like texting, and half the night he's not even there because he's texting some girl.
Yeah.
And they're not even talking about anything. They might, like, they've gone over all the topics you can possibly talk about, and if you're texting each other nonsense all the time, it gets pretty draining.
Yeah. Alright, moving on then.
Yep.
For the fourth point, it is to grasp our uniqueness, in brackets, get us.
Lexi told me on our first ever date that she had a YouTube channel. I was like, okay, and she said check it out, and obviously, you know, I do music, so I was like, go check my stuff out. So we both went away, did our homework. Lexi's YouTube channel is what it is, very
oh yeah, I let
very
the walls
her,
down.
You know. And in the early days when you first started, it was probably a little more rawer than it is now. That showed me who she was as a person. You know, I kind of got to know the INFP community, and this INFP community very fiercely passionate about who you are people.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that comment on your videos, I relate to this is me, this is so me. There's just all these comments of people who relate, and that just shows me sort of how passionate INFPs are about being INFP.
Who they are.
Yeah.
Who they are, who we are, yeah.
These qualities that really make her and make all of you. There's no way that you could possibly try and change that. You know, the worst thing you can do with someone is try and change them.
Or just completely not get them and put them down, or discourage them.
Yeah, there's something extremely intriguing about you and your channel. Was like, this is really interesting. I want to get to know you, and if you can't grasp who they are, don't bother.
Yeah, especially with INFPs, because we are relentlessly ourselves. And if we feel like there is a person who doesn't quite get us, wants to change something about us, we're going to dig our heels down and not want a bar of it, really. For an INFP, you have to feel like the person is on the same wavelength as you. I mean, they can of course be different, but they just have to understand that this is who you are and to really embrace it and encourage it. INFPs so love to be accepted for who we are, even if we are really colourful and a bit eccentric and strange. We love that a person can look at that and think, I like that. I like you. Keep being you. You know, if someone can do that, you've got our attention 100%. Now, for the last but not the least one, that is to inspire us to be the best that we can be.
I'm trying to sit here and I might have been looking like down your top the whole time. God, this is going to be an interesting video to cut.
Because extroverted intuition is at play for an INFP, is our auxiliary function. We like to be inspired and to bounce off ideas, and if you're the type of person that can provide that for the INFP, oh gosh, we are just going to be so totally inspired and interested and excited, really. When you can show us ways that get our introverted feeling going and things we can bounce off with that introverted feeling, like a good example might be a creative project, you know, that's totally going to capture our interest. And that is something that James definitely did.
So, kind of having known the INFP community for a while, I think probably one factor that I can say about them is they're very hard on themselves, very aware of their downfalls, aware of the things that they need to improve on, and very conscious of their space in this world, what they represent, who they are, and how they fit into the whole picture. I think they probably feel like one of the more excluded personalities. I mean, Lexi had a lot of these preconceived ideas about what she could and couldn't do. And I think in a relationship, it's really the thing that frustrates people the most about each other is their faults. What breaks couples up, I guess, is not being able to understand their faults and not, you know, being able to help them through and not seeing their faults as something that can be improved on. With Lexi kind of having these preconceived things about herself, it was my job to encourage her to conquer her fears. One of them was getting a license, and that took probably like 2 years of our relationship before she actually got it. There's just some of these milestones that she's achieved while we've been together.
Yes, because he's inspired me in those ways to be the best version of myself. When we first met each other, he inspired me creatively, first and foremost. So ways that he did that were, you know, I went to the studio with him maybe the first week into our relationship, our friendship, and I could see this relentless creative musician, and I was absolutely blown away by how much drive that I could see from James. And from that moment on, he inspired me creatively. I can tell you from seeing that, you know, I work really hard with my creativity now. Like, I come into the studio every second weekend to do these YouTube videos. But, you know, he also inspired me with painting, getting back into music because I had taken a break. You know, we're a very creative household, and James had inspired me to work hard. I had been so notorious for blowing in the wind. If you see my last video about the INFP careers, I would work on something creative, but it was so short-lived. James had taught me how to stick at that. He has taught me how to be the best version of myself, and I still have a long way to go, of course, as an INFP, I'm going to say that. But from the get-go, I had seen this driven, artistic guy, and I was so inspired by that and very encouraged, and he has supported me so much in my life. I don't know where I'd be without him, really. I think, you know, if you want to pursue an INFP or attract an INFP, you show them how they can be the best version of themselves. Lead by example, show that relentless side of yourself.
You should encourage them to continue to be themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
The worst thing you can have as an artist is to feel like your partner doesn't get it.
Doesn't encourage you, doesn't inspire you, doesn't support you.
oh, why do you do music? How to attract an INFP, how to attract anyone. It's not just a 1 or 2 date, bang, you nailed it. You have to continue to exercise compassion and love and empathy that you would want for yourself. So you continue to be authentic, you continue to make sure your intentions with each other and your goals are aligning. You continue to give each other space when needed. You know, you continue to embrace who they are.
Yeah.
And you continue to inspire. And if you continue to do all of these steps, then relationships should work.
Yeah. Well, like with NFs, with feelers, I think especially, because the same things can carry on to James, because I do those things with him too. So, I mean, you know, everyone's different, as I said. We're all unique with unique experiences. We all need different things. So that wraps up the 5 ways to attract an INFP. I hope you really enjoyed this video or learned new things about the INFP. I hope you have a really good Valentine's Day, and good luck on your mission to achieving your goals.
Thanks for having me. It's been really cool to kind of talk about this stuff. It's a cool topic, you know, like it's not every day you get to sit here and kind of get into this stuff, because I feel like when I was young I struggled a lot of the time with, you know, all these things that we've talked about, and it's been trial and error, and I've learnt how to be confident and how to be more myself.
Yeah, as cliche as it sounds, being yourself, you know, that is the ultimate thing that you can be. It's the best gift that you can give yourself. I hope you have a really good Valentine's Day, and I'll see you guys all again next time. Bye!
To be yourself is all that you can do. Yeah.